Coming up on BG24 Sports, football tried to keep their perfect MAC record. We have highlights from that one.
And hockey took on its first conference team. We'll go over how the guys did.
Plus, men's and women's soccer had MAC games. Find out how the teams did. All this and more coming up right here on BG24 Sports.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Katie Warnke.
And I'm Terry Lash.
Bowling Green took on Western Michigan Saturday. The guys have not beaten the Broncos since 2004. Both tough teams in the MAC. Should be a good game on Saturday. We'll take it right to the start. Falcons up first. James Knappe slings it to Heath Jackson. He hauls it in, tiptoes for a first down. The guys making it to the goal line. Knappe hands it off to Andre Givens, who pushes his way through for a 2-yard touchdown. Falcons take the early lead 7-zip. This Broncos offense, though, is nothing to mess with. Early in the second quarter, Zach Terrell hands off to freshman running back Jarvion Franklin. Franklin carrying this BG defense. It takes half the team to take him down. Broncos knocking on the door. Terrell looking, finds and connects with Corey Davis for a 4-yard TD. Broncos down by 1 at the half. Taking it to the beginning of the third now. Terrell at it again, this time to Darius Phillips. Check this kid out. Phillips running like Forrest Gump. No one can stop him. He goes all the way to the end zone. Broncos take the lead 19-14. Then with 4:54 left in the game, Falcons down by 2 touchdowns, trying to keep it alive. Knappe goes up the middle for 19 yards, tackled by WMU, forces the fumble. Broncos seal the deal with the recovery. Bowling Green dealt its first MAC loss this year with a Broncos 26-24 win.
I mean, for our defense, the way they played, they played good enough to win. They played good enough to win this game. We just got to find a way to score more points in different areas.
And, we just didn't execute today. We just didn't get the job done like we know we have to. So, you got to give them credit. They played a heck of a game, and they took us out of our game, and they did a good job, and you got to hand it to them.
Now looking at the standings, Bowling Green still holds that #1 spot in the MAC East. Akron is close behind, though, followed by UMass and Buffalo. Bowling Green still having to take on Akron later in the year. At the other end of it in the West, Toledo ahead with a perfect conference record. Northern Illinois and Western Michigan, again, close behind. Now, Terry, we saw this offense falter this game, but how do you think the defense did?
Well, I thought the defense did great, Katie. I thought the defense played one of their better games of the season. Yet again, after the week at OU, the defense came out very, very strong. And I think the offense and defense just has to get together, and that way they can play a complete game. That's going to be key to the Falcons' success for the rest of the season.
I completely agree. I think the defense proved to be really strong this game, but the killer for them was the offense this time. James Knappe, no passing touchdowns. He had 1 interception, 1 fumble. Coach Babers had said earlier last week that this defense is getting stronger. It's up to the offense to keep them off the field. The time of possession, it was heavily in favor of Western Michigan, keeping that defense on. So the Falcons need to work on getting that offense little more time on the field there.
Absolutely. Now the guys have a 2-week break before coming back against another MAC team. On November 4th, the team travels to Akron in a game that could decide the MAC East. And then the Falcons come home to face Kent State. Conference matchups make up the rest of the team's schedule. The guys sit at 5-3 overall and are 3-1 in MAC play.
Now, how about some high school football, Terry? Perrysburg is dominating the Northern Lakes League. What is it about these guys?
Well, Katie, if I have to say anything, it's my guy Gus Dimmerling. Gus Dimmerling, the senior dual-threat quarterback, averaging almost 1,500 yards this year and almost 900 yards rushing. The guy can do it all. They have a lot of seniors back on this team.
I completely agree. It gives Coach Kriegel a chance to teach them not just the basics, but more advanced plays. Now, if we look at the rest of the schedule for Perrysburg, they've taken on Southview. They beat them 45-6, a pretty handled win over them. And Southview is usually a top contender in this Northern Lakes League. They still have Springfield and Maumee to take on. Springfield is 6-3 on the year, and Maumee's 5-3. But Perrysburg is actually ranked #1 in Division II in the state of Ohio. So should be an interesting end of the season for them. I think they'll go a long way in the playoffs this year.
I hope so. It's great to see local teams doing so well at the state level.
Oh, it absolutely is. Now, after the break, we'll talk about how hockey did against Alabama Huntsville and what we can expect later in the season. Stay with us. Welcome back. Hockey kicked off WCHA play going up against Alabama Huntsville this weekend. Friday, the guys shut out the Chargers 5-0. Saturday, not much difference. The Falcons take that one 4-1. Kevin Dufour, the leading scorer for the guys with 3 goals. Bowling Green gets their first conference wins of the season.
Now looking at the stats, the Falcons are dominating in total shots with an 89-40 advantage against Alabama Huntsville. The guys were efficient on the power play as well with 4 power play goals. Bowling Green saw strong play from freshman goalie Chris Nell. He turned away 20 shots in his shutout victory, and Thomas Scholl stopped 19 of 20 shots on Saturday.
Now going ahead to their upcoming games, Bowling Green away at Clarkson until the end of October. The guys will come back for their first conference home match against Minnesota State. The Mavericks picked to finish first in the WCHA. It should be a good weekend series to see.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Katie. And with winter sports coming around, the wrestling team is getting ready for action. Reporter Jasmine Burnett has more.
Over 15 sports here at BGSU, wrestling is trying to pin down their competition and make it to nationals. Coach and coordinator Cody Dean, who played the sport years ago, says he's doing it for the love of the sport.
This is a lot of extra work. I go to a lot of meetings. I have to be CPR certified. I have to go to NCAA coaching meetings. I have to go to, there's a lot to it, but it's for the love of the sport.
Each practice, the wrestlers line up by weight to prepare for a match. One round is 3 minutes, the second and third round are both 2 minutes, with a total of 7 minutes per match. Returnee Zach Goodman says he focused on becoming better.
I'm focused more on improving every day, making myself a better wrestler. So I had a rough season last year, so I really want to improve. That's what's so cool about wrestling, because you can work with people, you know, what kind of moves you got, how you make those better. So that's why I really like the sport.
Dean says it's hard to run a program when kids get discouraged. Besides running a team, Dean says it's also a disadvantage when practicing with more than one sport.
Facility, budget, it's all really hard. We have the experienced wrestlers, but it's also hard to keep kids on the team. A lot of kids get discouraged after they lose a couple matches because it's college level.
All right, ball, Zach, and go!
The team practice, trains, and conditions. They are making it one step closer to nationals. For BG24 Sports, I'm Jasmine Burnett.
For more information on the club wrestling team, follow them on Twitter or Facebook. Now, men's and women's soccer both had home conference matches. We'll check out some highlights after the break. Now, the men's soccer team was in action on Saturday night at Cochran Field, taking on the University at Buffalo. The team was looking to rebound from their loss last week against the Akron Zips. The Falcons used a little bit of luck early on as a ball that was crossed into the box was ricocheted off a Buffalo defender into the back of the net. Falcons, they took the early 1-0 lead. Buffalo would quickly respond, though, as Sean Young was there to finish a beautiful low cross right past the left shoulder of Ryan Houghton. The Bulls had tied the game up at 1 apiece. That would be the last of the scoring as both teams battled to a 1-1 draw. The Falcons are now 9-3-1 on the season. Looking ahead at the schedule, the guys go to Ohio State and then West Virginia before coming back north to Detroit.
Yes, absolutely. The team will be away until the 1st of November for the 2 last home games, the first one being a MAC game against Western Michigan. WMU is the last MAC home game, and right now the Falcons are winless in the conference at 0-1-1. Now, women's soccer is taking on Kent State Sunday. It's senior day. The Falcons winding down in the season, looking for another win after Friday. It was also alumni weekend the day before. The Golden Flashes had trouble getting their offense started as Lauren Cadell posted 10 saves during the match, earning her MAC Defensive Player of the Week. Now, halfway through the first, Michaela Couch carries the ball midfield through the Flashes' backline, knocking one in for the Falcons, giving them the 1-0 lead. BG's defense was strong throughout. That would be the only goal of the game. Falcons take it from Kent 1-0.
And with soccer at the end of the season, we've gotten to know the guys pretty well. Katie spent some time with senior Vlad Lekarev to get some insight into what he's like off the field.
All right, we are here with Vlad Lekarev, midfielder for the men's soccer team. We know him on the field. We're going to get to know him off the field. Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. To start it off, what is your favorite movie?
I like all the Fast and the Furious series. So, like, I don't know, I like the cars in there, and they drive fast, so.
All right, I've never seen that, actually. Any of them?
You have it? No. Oh, wow. Come on, this guy Paul Walker.
Never, never. Who is your favorite actor, then?
Favorite actor would be DiCaprio.
Leo, oh, I love Leo. Leo has my heart.
Yeah.
Titanic fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I watched it
All right.
30 times. I don't want to admit that, but.
Do you cry?
No.
No?
Oh,
It's okay if you do.
scene where with Rose.
Yeah? It's heart-wrenching, right?
Yeah.
Who is your favorite athlete?
Oh, favorite athlete. Like, for soccer or just any athlete?
Any athlete.
I'm just going to stick to soccer. I would say Ronaldo.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Okay, were you happy then when he scored that goal for?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He's probably the best player.
Yeah, I could agree with
People
that.
say Messi, but I'm going to say Ronaldo.
Yeah. All right. All
He
right.
scores so many goals.
Have it on record then. Cristiano Ronaldo,
Yeah.
best soccer player.
Yeah.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. Probably Mila Kunis.
All right.
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's good looking.
Okay. Who are you? NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Oh, I would say NSYNC just because of Justin Timberlake.
Oh, good old JT.
Yeah, he's a good performer.
When he had the frosted tips, remember that back in the
Yeah,
90s?
Frosted Tips is where it's at.
yeah.
I actually had Frosted Tips in the beginning of the season.
Did you really?
Back in like middle school, but.
Oh, you should pull them out for this season too.
Well, I did at the beginning of the season, and I got a haircut, and I'm thinking about pulling them out for like for the MAC games, like the last MAC games.
I think that should be done. I'm gonna count on that.
I was gonna be like right down the middle.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool. All right, last question. If you weren't playing soccer, what would you be doing right now?
I'd be producing music.
Okay. What kind of music?
Hip hop and like electro and house music.
All right. That sounds pretty cool, though. That's pretty neat. Well, thanks for joining us. It's nice to get to know you a little bit. We look forward to seeing you on the field against some more MAC teams.
Go BG.
Yep.
Rev has tallied 1 assist for the Falcons this year, helping the guys get that 9-3-1 record. When we come back, it's Around the Studio. We're talking Bowling Green sports, and you won't want to miss it, so stay right here.
Welcome to Around the Studio. We have Jordan Doster joining us today. Jordan and Terry battling it out. They will have 60 seconds to go over a topic of my choice. Once the time is up, the round ends. I give points to the best answer, and at the end of the rounds, you know how it goes. I'll give the winner. I hope you guys are ready for this. With football's loss this weekend against Western Michigan, what is the weakest link for Bowling Green, offense or defense?
Right now, I gotta say offense. As surprising as that sounds, that Falcon Fast offense has hit a stall. I do not know what happened that we saw in the first few weeks of the year when the defense was struggling so much, but now I think the problem is mainly offensive.
I'd have to agree with Terry right now. I'd say the offense is the main part, right, why they struggled last week. But if you look through how the season progressed, the defense is definitely the main piece as to why they were struggling. They've given up at least 40 points in 4 games this season, and they've given up over 50 twice. You can't just ask the offense to score that many points. It's the defense, I feel like, at this point.
What I really like, ever since they moved Gabe Martin to that Mike linebacker spot, it seems like the defense has rallied around his senior leadership. He just brings another presence out there that the Falcons didn't have those first few weeks. If the Falcons are wanting to get back in that MAC East title picture, they want to get back to Detroit, they're going to have to rely on this defense to take them there, just like they did last season.
All right, I'm going to have to say, Jordan, you get those points. I agree. I think it's partly the defense here because, like you said, James Kanapke, he can't put up 50-plus points on the board each week. Now, men's soccer is 9-3-1 so far this season, but still unable to get a conference win. They're 0-1-1 in MAC play. With this talent that they have, are the guys able to pull off a MAC championship?
I feel like they could definitely pull off the MAC championship because one guy, Pat Flynn, he's second in the nation right now in goal scorer with 12. However, the rest of their team is kind of struggling. Their next highest goal scorer only has 4 goals. And like you said, they haven't won a game yet in the conference. And they have 4 more conference games coming up, though.
I think Jordan makes a great point about Pat Flynn, but it's a what have you done for me lately society, and Pat Flynn has been struggling as of late. He's a super sophomore. There's no doubt about it. One of the best players goal-scoring-wise in the entire country. but lately it just hasn't been there. And the first two MAC conference games were really disappointing. Now Akron, a perennial powerhouse in the MAC, a former D1 champion in men's soccer, but that tied to a lowly Buffalo team, that's really going to hurt the Falcons throughout this season. I really want to see them bounce back, but I do not know if they have that senior leadership that it takes to get to that MAC title game.
I'm going to have to give Terry this one. I agree. It's what they're doing now. And Pat Flynn, he hasn't scored a goal since September 19th. If that's their person that they're relying on to score and give them the points, then I don't think they have what it takes to get to the MAC championship. Now, we're going to move into some hockey. There are 11 freshmen joining the hockey team this year. We've seen strong play from guys like Nolan Valou, Brandon Hawkins, Mitchell McLean. Are the freshmen carrying this team so far?
Absolutely they are. This is a young hockey team. Coach Bergeron will be the first one to admit that. But this young team has come up with a veteran presence from these young freshmen. Valou with 6 points on the year. If you add all the points from all of the freshmen up, 18 on the year. 39 total points for the Falcons team. That's nearly half of the whole team's points are coming from all freshmen. You gotta love what these guys have done.
Certainly have to agree with Terry there. With the freshmen making up such a large portion of the team and scoring nearly half the team's goals, you can't say that the freshmen aren't carrying the team this season. They're 4-1. They're looking to go ahead this season and continue winning, and the freshmen are the main piece. They keep the team together. They make up the majority of the team right now, and they're looking like veterans out there on the court.
And I will say that we talk a lot about the scoring, but what about Nell with that shutout victory to start his career? Very impressive stuff.
Absolutely. Terry, you got it again, man. You're on a roll. I agree. It's the freshmen are carrying this team. When you have guys that you lost like Bryce Williamson, Cam Watala, Ryan Carpenter, you got to rely on these freshmen, and they are the glue to the team, and you got it, man. Now with a new coach, new players, men's basketball is getting ready for the 2014 season to start. Last year, the guys finished 12-20. Will they have a better season this year?
Certainly. You have to think they're going to have a better season this year. They got Coach Jans coming in from Wichita State, been to the NCAA tournament, knows how to win games. He's excited. They have like 16 new players on the team this season. There's a new coaching staff, but all the coaching staff come from bigger schools that have been competitive. And if you see Coach Jans on the court in practice, he's demanding a lot more from the players. He demands everybody to play at a higher level of basketball, and the players are all buying into his system. I think they're definitely poised to be better than last season.
I'm going to be the negative Nancy, say they're not going to be as good as 12-20 last year. Look, I think it's great that have all these returning players, Rashawn Holmes and Spencer Parker, but there is always growing pains when you have a new coach. It happens across sports. We saw it this year with Coach Dino Babers. No one thought the Falcons football team was experiencing this many difficulties this year, but it happened. And I think the basketball team is going to figure out that it's going to be a very similar path for them in this season.
Terry, you got it. New coach, new players. I don't think that they. I think it's going to be a growing year for the guys. Now, women's soccer is in a rebuilding phase. They've won 3 out of their last 5 games, though. Will the ladies have a winning record next year?
I don't think so, Katie. It's great to be optimistic, and what they've done this year is absolutely outstanding. We haven't seen this good of a women's soccer team in years at Bowling Green State University, but it's a slow rebuild. Most of the team is freshmen, and they have a lot of talent. Do not get me wrong, but it takes time to get to the top of the mountain.
I definitely agree with Terry. They have a lot of freshmen, a lot of players coming back next season. I feel like they're definitely poised to step up and make a bigger run in their coming years. But as of right now, they're playing above their normal standards, I feel like, but they're not ready to have a winning record yet, I don't think.
I will say though, goalkeeper Lauren Cadell is an absolute monster in the net. She has been fabulous this year. Only a redshirt sophomore, so after this year, 2 more years of Cadell manning that net. That's good news for the Falcons.
And their leading scorer is also a freshman, so.
All right, Jordan, you get this one, but unfortunately it's not enough. Terry takes the around the studio this week. Good job, Terry Lash. When we come back, we will have a recap of scores from the weekend, and we'll also have our game of the week. Stay with us.
And welcome back, and here's a recap of the scores from over the weekend. Volleyball dropped 2 matches Thursday and Saturday, while women's soccer took 2 wins. And men's cross country finished 27th out of 28 at the Indiana State Pre-Nationals. The ladies did a little better, taking 7th out of 33 at the same meet.
Now coming up this week, our game of the week is men's soccer at Ohio State. The guys will try to get 10 wins on the year heading to Columbus Wednesday. On the year, BG averages 15.5 shots per game with 2 goals per game. Ohio State not far behind though with just over 1 goal per game. The Buckeyes tally 11.4 shots per game. It should be a good matchup. Terry, what do the guys need to do to take this win?
Well, first of all, they can't be intimidated when they go to Columbus. They have to go in there, be very strong with your attacks, send a lot of those crosses into the box, try to get a header in it. Maybe this is when Pat Flynn breaks through, gets back on that scoreboard. I
completely agree. I mean, you have Ryan Houghton, who is a very strong goalie for the Falcons, but without Pat Flynn, who do they really have to score? I mean, like I said earlier, he has not scored since September 19th. 2 goals against Western Michigan. That is the Falcons. They can't pull a win if they're not getting anything from their leading scorer.
You're absolutely right, Kay. They need Flynn to come up big this game.
I completely agree. Now, well, that is all for BG24 Sports today. Follow us on Twitter for Falcon scores and news.
And check out Facebook for videos from today's show. And I'm Terry Lash.
And I'm Katie Warnke. Have a great night.